puppet master. The theater had stood on the edge of town for as long as anyone could remember. Once a grand centerpiece of culture and art, it had long since fallen into disrepair. The faded marquee still bore the name Ravenwood Theater, though most of the letters had fallen away. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of rotting wood. A group of young actors, led by an ambitious director named Claire, had taken it upon themselves to restore the theater's glory. They were drawn by the promise of its history, the allure of reviving something once great. Claire believed that their upcoming play, a revival of the Midnight Hour, would be the perfect way to reintroduce Ravenwood to the world. As the actors gathered for their first rehearsal, the atmosphere was electric. The group consisted of a mix of seasoned performers and eager newcomers. There was Tom, the leading man with a penchant for dramatic flair; Sarah, the quiet but talented ingenue; Marcus, the comic relief with a heart of gold; and Lila, the veteran actress who had seen it all. The first few rehearsals went smoothly enough, despite the creaking floorboards and flickering lights. But soon, strange things began to happen. Props would go missing, only to reappear in odd places. The ancient stage lights would turn on and off by themselves. And then there were the whispers, soft, barely audible murmurs that seemed to come from the very walls of the theater. One night, as the cast rehearsed a particularly intense scene, Tom suddenly stopped midline. His eyes glazed over, and he began speaking words that weren't in the script. The others watched in stunned silence as he delivered a monologue none of them had ever heard before, his voice filled with anguish and rage. "Tom, what are you doing?" Claire asked, her voice trembling. Tom blinked, as if coming out of a trance. I don't know," he stammered. "I don't even remember what I said." The cast exchanged uneasy glances. Lila crossed her arms. "This place gives me the creeps," she muttered. "We shouldn't be here." But Claire was determined. "We've come this far. We can't back out now. Let's just take a break and regroup." As the days went on, the strange occurrences became more frequent. Sarah found herself waking up in the middle of the night, her dreams filled with scenes from the play that felt all too real. Marcus began hearing voices calling his name when he was alone. Even Claire, usually so composed, started to feel the weight of the theater pressing down on her. One evening, as they rehearsed the final act, the air grew cold. The temperature in the theater plummeted, and an eerie silence settled over the room. Suddenly, the old velvet curtains began to move, though there was no breeze. From the shadows, a figure emerged. Dressed in period attire, his face was pale and gaunt, eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. The cast froze in terror as the ghostly figure approached the stage. "I am Nathaniel Ravenswood," he said, his voice echoing through the empty theater. "This play must be performed as it was intended. You will finish what was started." Claire found her voice. "Why are you doing this? What do you want from us?" Nathaniel's expression twisted in anguish. "I was betrayed," he whispered. "On the night of the premiere, my closest friend sabotaged the production, leading to my ruin. I took my own life here, in this very theater. Now I seek justice. You will perform the play, as it was meant to be, to right the wrongs of the past." The cast was trapped, compelled by an unseen force. They couldn't leave, couldn't resist. Night after night, they performed the Midnight Hour, their bodies moving against their will, their voices echoing Nathaniel's sorrow and rage. As the final performance neared, Claire realized the truth. Nathaniel's spirit was not seeking justice, it sought revenge. The play was a ritual, a way to draw the living into the same tragedy that had claimed his life. On the final night, as the curtain fell on the last act, the theater trembled. The cast stood frozen, their faces pale. Nathaniel's spirit rose above them, a chilling smile on his lips. "Thank you," he whispered. "The play is complete." With that, the theater went dark. When the townspeople arrived the next morning, they found the theater empty, the cast vanished without a trace. Only the faint echoes of applause lingered in the air, a haunting reminder of the performance that had finally brought Ravenwood Theater to its tragic end.